John Wesley, who was one of our nation's greatest evangelists, and I just finished a book about him. He said he was so convinced of prayer's agency in bringing the power of God that he said, I am convinced that God does nothing on earth except in answer to prayer, persistent prayer. Now again, you wonder, well, I mean, if God wants to give us these things, why not he just do it immediately, the first time that we ask for them? Again, honestly, I'm not sure the full answer, but I have learned that there are things that God does in us during times of waiting. In Lamentations 3:25, Jeremiah, who was a prophet that was himself very broken, in prison, felt like he was abandoned, like he'd lost everything. He said, Lamentations 3:25, it's good for a man to wait quietly to see the salvation of the Lord. He called out on God multiple times for his deliverance, and God told him to wait. Times of waiting can have a purifying effect on us. I know from experience that waiting on God in silence can help us see all the false places that we trust. God reveals that. Waiting on God can help shake us of our self-confidence. Waiting is how God tests our faith in his goodness. Martin Luther said it's like a child trying to push against the hand of a parent. The parent gives only enough resistance to test the resolve of the child. Martin Luther said that's what God does with us in prayer. He wants to see our resolve in his goodness. Looking back on my life now, I can see how some of God's greatest times of blessing in my life happened during seasons of waiting, when it felt like he wasn't even listening. He was listening, but there were some things that God wanted to do in me before he did those things that I was asking him to do for me. I love how the popular praise song puts it. God, if you're not done working, I'm not done waiting. And until he comes back, until Jesus comes back, or until I'm dead, he's not done.